January the 25th, 2023 saw many radio nerds like me up and down the country listening to Absolute Radio's AM transmitters being switched off one by one. Interestingly, Lisnagarvey in Northern Ireland continued to broadcast the retune loop into the following morning before it fell silent, marking the last of all 33 of Absolute Radio's AM transmitters to be switched off. For fans of radio nostalgia like me, events like this don't go unnoticed, but there was somebody else who noticed too, Ofcom, and they weren't happy. My words, not theirs. In fact, now they're considering giving Bauer a financial penalty for ending its national AM licence 8 years early. Bauer told Ofcom on January the 26th, 2023 that it had turned off all of their AM transmitters that were used to broadcast Absolute Radio across most of the UK. Ofcom will now initiate procedures to officially revoke the licence. So why does any of this matter? Well, for Bauer it probably doesn't, other than the fact that they may receive a financial penalty. The revocation of the licence would serve as nothing more than a public rebuke, Ofcom basically expressing disapproval, and this offers us a chance to do a bit of analysis and speculation on this situation. The fine will come to last, but firstly, as part of their licensing conditions, Bauer will have agreed to adhere to a strict set of rules, the big one here being that they were supposed to honour their licence for another 8 years. I quote from sources I'll link below, under section 111.4 of the Broadcasting Act 1990, if Ofcom is satisfied that the holder of a licence to provide a national service has ceased to provide the service before the end of the licence period, and it is appropriate to do so, it must revoke the licence. So what if Ofcom revokes the licence? Well, I suppose to Bauer that really wouldn't matter either with the technology of today, but if AM was still a competitive market, another station could come along and take their frequencies, meaning if Absolute was to return, they'd have no chance and a competitor could be sat on their old frequencies, stealing all their listeners. Of course, this won't happen. You could say, well, Ofcom knew Bauer intended to switch off their AM services, but they didn't, not officially. It's not the job of Ofcom to watch for news stories on things they should be consulted on. Ofcom said Bauer Radio will now have 5 working days to provide representation on Ofcom's preliminary view on licence revocation and may request an opportunity to make oral representations. Basically, they can argue their case. They went on to say, once we've considered any representations received, Ofcom will write to Bauer Radio setting out our final decision and, if appropriate, revoking the licence. We'll also publish our decision on our website. It's highly likely that the licence will end up being revoked, and under section 1013 of the Broadcasting Act of 1990, where Ofcom revokes a national licence, it must require the licence holder to pay a financial penalty. Ofcom added, depending on our decisions, we may undertake a further process to determine any financial penalty that may apply, which brings us to the fine. Who knows how much it could be, but I doubt it'd be cheap. This brings me to another point I've been thinking about, and that is cost. Bauer will save significant amounts of money by ending their AM services. There's 33 power-guzzling, high-maintenance transmitter stations up and down the country that no longer need financing. Are they tightening up the purse strings? Well, it's the smart thing to do in today's financial climate, and I only say this as I and many other people around Manchester have noticed a significant drop in signal level from their greatest hits radio FM service from Saddleworth. The signal from the 4 kilowatt transmitter feels like something closer to a couple of 100 watts recently. This could be down to a faulty feeder or antenna, but I've had a handful of people mention it to me recently, which I suppose ties in with the cost thing. Are they turning down power levels to save money? In most cases you probably wouldn't even notice. Of course, it's all speculation, and time will tell. Let me know what you think in the comments below.